All right, let's practice some handstands against the wall. There are two ways to go about doing this. One, with your back facing the wall, and then the other way, with the front of your body facing the wall. Now, if you're just starting off, you're just learning a handstand, you can't really quite hold one on the flat ground yet, then the best approach would be starting off with your back facing the wall. It's easier to get into, and it eliminates the fear of falling over because the wall is there to catch you. And when you're doing a handstand with your stomach facing the wall, it's a little more frightening, but we'll get to that in a second. Now, one of the most important things to me when learning a handstand and practicing against the wall is getting the kickoff, getting the strength and the control to get that perfect kickoff. And I notice when some people are learning a handstand, they like to fall into it with momentum. They'll fall into the kick. And while that's not like bad in the very beginning, I would recommend against it and then just starting with your hands on the floor as soon as you can, because it's gonna help you build additional strength and body control. Now, some people have trouble doing this because one, they feel like they're not flexible enough, but you don't have to kick off from like right here. You can kick off from like way down here. You know, like you're about to take a running start. At first, that can actually be quite difficult because one, you're just not used to doing it. You probably haven't had any reason or purpose to kick your legs off like that, so you haven't built that type of strength. And it's also a strength in your hands that are giving you an extra boost, an extra control. I'm using my hands, I'm flexing with my arms and my shoulders. You'll even notice sometimes my shoulders will slouch and I'll push up and straighten out myself. So every time that you practice this kickoff position, rather than just falling into it with momentum, you're building additional strength and control, which is going to go a long way in the end. And at first you'll be kicking off really hard just to get yourself up. And that's all right, don't worry about overshooting because you can't. The wall's gonna catch you, don't be afraid. And eventually you'll start controlling that. You'll notice you'll be getting more and more control, and you'll be able to slow it down, and you'll be touching the wall a lot softer. Until eventually you'll kick off, and you'll get that perfect kickoff from practicing so much that you won't touch the wall at all. You know where that spot is, you'll be used to it. So it'll look like this. Just kick really hard. It never hurts to practice with both feet, switch it up. And then it'll slow down. Get softer. Until eventually now, if you just kick off into the wall with both feet, you're most likely going to go into this slouched position, which is called a banana handstand, where your back arches, your lower back arches, and it looks like this. Now, that'll help you if your goal is to achieve a banana handstand and look slouched over like that, like this. Ugh, feels nasty. But we want a clean handstand, right? We want to work towards developing a nice, clean, straight handstand, which at first it's not going to look clean, it's not going to look straight. I'm not saying that, but we want to practice the right movements from the beginning. And so what we're going to do, rather than kicking off with both feet against the wall, the way that I like to do it is, I'll demonstrate right now. So the leg that I'm not kicking off with, which is this leg right here, the leg that's already in the air, this leg is going to hit the wall first, and it's going to hit the wall in a tucked position. So it's going to be like this, and it's going to be against the wall. That's going to be what's supporting me. And then this leg is going to be off the wall, or it may hit the wall, but it's going to come off the wall. I'm going to take it off and hold it straight. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to engage a posterior pelvic tilt. So when you stick your butt out like this, that's called an anterior pelvic tilt, because your pelvis is tilting forward. Now if you do the opposite, you tilt your pelvis backwards and you squeeze your glutes. So we're squeezing our butt cheeks really tight, we're creating this flat lower back. And normally when we engage a posterior pelvic tilt, I'm squeezing hard at the abs as well, but when I'm in a handstand, I'm actually really relaxed right here. Some people tense right here during the handstand and it works for them, but for me, I like to stay relaxed. And you can notice it when I'm doing it, when I'm holding a handstand. I'm breathing, I'm really relaxed down here. I'm not compressing or tight. I am, however, holding a posterior pelvic tilt. So if you want to, you can practice sticking your butt out and tucking it in and holding it there. And that's what we want to hold. Because if you just kick off straight, like I said, you're going to be in that banana position with both feet against the wall, and you're going to be slouched. So practice it like this. You can straighten this leg, see where it's at. And now my butt's sticking out, anterior pelvic tilt. I'm gonna, you see that? From here, take this leg off the wall, posterior pelvic tilt. And at the same time, I'm pushing out with my shoulders right here. Don't rest your body on your shoulders. Don't be like this. Push your body away from your shoulders and hold it there while holding that posterior pelvic tilt. And just holding that position, you're getting used to holding that posterior pelvic tilt over time. And when you're pushing your shoulders out, instead of resting your body on your shoulders, when you're pushing it out, you can start feeling, you're gonna start feeling the burn, and you're gonna start developing a lot of much needed shoulder strength that's gonna help your handstand control. Now, the third and final tip for practicing the handstand with your back facing the wall is gonna be all in the hand positioning. And if you've watched my other handstand videos, I mentioned this in probably every single one because it's one of the most important things about doing a handstand. Don't just have your hands flat on the ground like this, but instead, we're gonna use this grip right here. We're gonna clench the ground with the flat ends of our fingers, not the tips. Some people wanna go like this at first, but that's not gonna help you. You wanna slide it up like this. Really practice doing this. It could be really extreme too, like right here. Sometimes I'll be pushing really hard with the ends of my fingers and I'll clench this like this much. But if you can just get it right here, that's fine too. It's that grip. Because when we're falling forward, if you push really hard on the ends of your fingers, you'll start pushing yourself back just by squeezing the ends of your fingers. And clenching them like this puts them in a better position to clench so that we can use that strength. If your hands are flat, it's gonna make it a little harder to press with your fingers. You're not gonna have as much strength or control. You'll notice this, look at many of the professional hand balancers on YouTube, like Miguel Hand Balance or several of them, all the best. You'll notice whether they're doing a handstand or a single arm handstand, one arm handstand, they'll have this grip right here. So it might feel weird at first, just like everything else, just like the kickoff, but you can get that grip. If like your pinky, like for example, for some reason the pinky right here on this hand, like it just won't do it. I can't clench, but this one can, strangely. But if your pinkies can't clench like that, then that's fine. It hasn't given me any problems. But the more that you can get this grip and really squeeze it tight so that your palm is really firm on the ground and the flat ends of your fingers right here, flat on the ground, it's gonna put you in a really stable position and you'll be able to support yourself better. All right, so posterior pelvic tilt, check. Shoulders pushed out, check. Hand grip, check. Now I'm gonna squeeze with the ends of my fingers really hard. See what happens. So this would be using your legs. I pushed off with my leg, and as you can see, like, it's just too much power and it throws me back. You're gonna come off the wall and land back to your feet every time. So I'm not gonna use my legs to come off the wall, but instead, practicing to come off the wall, it's gonna be all on the ends of my fingers. We're gonna get that grip. I'm gonna squeeze like I'm pushing my fingers down and forward. I'm just gonna squeeze really hard. And once I squeeze hard enough, my foot's just gonna come off the wall. Just like when you're doing like this. So while you're building that finger strength, because it's a lot of strength in your hands to push, and you're getting used to that pressure on your hands, just start taking the pressure off of your foot, going onto your toes, and then when you squeeze with your fingertips, point your toes even more so that your foot kind of naturally comes off the wall. And then just practice transferring that pressure between your wrists and your hands. And remember, you gotta squeeze hard. You're pushing hard down here, you're squeezing really hard with the ends of your fingers. I'm squeezing really hard with the ends of my fingers, and I'm using my shoulders slightly. I'm kind of moving my shoulders, pivoting them like this to help bring me off the wall. And when I feel like I'm falling too much back towards my feet, I'm going to release the pressure from the ends of my fingers and transfer it over to my palms. Sometimes I'll take all the pressure off of my fingers completely, and I'll just be on my palms, and I'll be pushing down and slightly back to bring myself forward. So push down, back to bring yourself forward with your palms. And if you're falling forward, you want to bring yourself back, squeeze harder on the ends of your fingers. So we're just transferring that pressure between our palms and the ends of our fingers. Now, what's beneficial about practicing your handstands against the wall with your stomach facing the wall is, well, one, it helps you get over that fear even more of falling over, and two, there are different exercises you can do to help build your strength. Like a really common one is the handstand wall walk, and this is really excellent. So we're like this, and walk it up. This can be scary, like I said, because if you fall, you've got to be comfortable falling out just like that, just like you would off the floor. Now, I would also recommend practicing your handstands on the flat ground, just so you're not afraid of falling over. Practice doing cartwheels, and whenever you're practicing your handstands, don't be afraid to kick over. Just kick over and bell out to the side. Even do it intentionally over and over again so you get comfortable with it. Just go like this. Like you're doing a sketchy cartwheel. That way, when you get into this position of your handstand against the wall, since you don't have the wall to catch you when you fall over, you can just come out into a sketchy cartwheel. That exercise is really great for building that shoulder strength, because each time you're pushing out, you want to push out with your shoulder, and it's going to help that upper body strength, which is going to help assist you in your handstand. Another way you can practice against the wall, the front of your body facing the wall, is like this. So we got right here. Just practice slowly bringing your legs off the wall and touching them back. So the main things to take away from this video is get that kickoff down. Build the strength and control to do that kickoff so you can kick yourself off with your hands already on the ground up against the wall, rather than just falling into it with momentum. And if you feel like you need to be more flexible to do it, well then stretch your legs. You should be stretching anyways. And the second thing to take away from the video is that posterior pelvic tilt when we're against the wall. Tucking one leg, really engaging that posterior pelvic tilt so that we're not just arching our lower back and falling into a banana handstand. We're also pushing out with our shoulders. And the third thing is the finger positioning, the clinch. And you'll notice most of the work is going to come down to transferring the pressure between the ends of your fingers and your palms when you're balancing. And when you're against the wall, practice squeezing hard with the ends of your fingers, and eventually you're going to start coming off the wall. And as soon as you come off the wall and you find yourself falling back to your feet, release the pressure from your fingers and transfer it onto your palms. It's going to be weird at first, but you will get the hang of it. And this is how I practice my handstands against the wall. Another thing, one last thing to leave with, is stretch your shoulders out. Use the wall to stretch your shoulders. Kick off into the wall and push your chest through your shoulders as much as you can, and practice opening them up, because that's going to help a lot in the long run. Alright, thanks for watching.